Hello everyone, it's Andy. And I was thinking so many people are dying from cancers and heart disease and osteoporosis and all of these zoonotic diseases, which if you don't know what a zoonotic disease, those are diseases that extend that is passed down from animal to animal. For instance, AIDS, that's a zoonotic disease contracted by animals. And even with I really didn't want to mention this, but even with the whole Ebola situation, they're saying that it's a zoonotic disease. It's a disease that came from an animal that got passed on to humans. And it's just crazy to me that we're aware of all these zoonotic diseases, yet we still choose to eat meat. We still choose to make excuses. We still choose to follow the systems and let the systems guide us. And we put so much faith and trust in. We just put so much of that into these industries that don't have the best interests for us. That only wants to make profit. That only wants to run our pockets dry until we finally die. But it's so crazy that we live in a world where we don't even trust our friends and our family. If our family or our friends was to come up to us and say, hey, I have the answer, I know how to solve this, people would look at us with hostility and suspicion like, oh, well, that vegan thing, that's just bullshit. And where do you get your protein? And what if I was stuck on a deserted island with nothing to eat? Then what I'm going to do? Huh? 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 Well, I feel like all of those things are just blocks to keep us from taking back our health. And I think that there's something that scares us and refrains us from wanting to take the appropriate steps. And then it kind of got me thinking, do we live in a suicidal country? Do we live in a suicidal world? Because if we live in an age of information, if we live in a world in a time where information is broad in daylight in public, yet we still choose disease over our health, and we know what causes diseases, but we still choose disease, it kind of makes me feel like we live amongst suicidal humans. Like, are humans suicidal? Because at this point, we're making the choice. Now we're choosing to die when we know better, when we know that heart disease and obesity and cancer and osteoporosis, we know that all of these things are reversible and preventable. Most importantly, preventable. But I find it striking that it's also reversible, and it's completely unnecessary. We know that we don't need to eat animals in order to be healthy. We know that we don't need to eat their secretions and their products to be healthy, but we're going to do it anyway. To me, that's like pulling the trigger. It's like you know what's going to kill you, but you're going to do it anyway. So are people suicidal? That's my question. Do we live amongst a suicidal nation?